Proudly brought to you by
Brand Source Home Gallery, inspiring luxury, and JN Money.
From abroad to yard.
Fast, affordable, convenient. Doctor's Hospital. Peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctor's Hospital, always there for you. Call 949-6066. And Cayman Airways. Call them on 949-2311 to book your nonstop flights to Los Angeles and Panama. And Kirk Market. Experience a world of choice.
We ask our listeners and viewers to avoid any statements or comments which are abusive, derogatory, malicious, or defamatory. Do not use indecent language or make any statement that is false or misleading. Call 1-800-534-8255, 949-6990, 949-8037, or WhatsApp us on 925-3261.
Live from Radio Cayman Studio.
This is For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Hear from your government officials, independents, and the opposition on issues that matter to you.
For the Record.
Engage in an open dialogue between residents and lawmakers.
With Orrett Connor.
Informative, impartial, insightful.
This is For the Record.
For the Record. 1-800-534-8255. Your calls, your input. This is For the Record. And now, your host, Orrett Connor.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, O land of soft, fresh breezes and verdant trees so fair. Today is October 2nd, 2024, right here in the beautiful Cayman Islands. October, November, and then we'll have December, the month for Christmas, where we celebrate Christmas as well. This year has gone extremely fast. For us older folks, it seems to go by very quickly. I remember when I was a child, you thought that Christmas took forever to come because you were looking forward to it. Now, when you're adults, you're hoping, can it wait a little bit longer? Because you know you're going to have to spend money, you're going to have to do this, you're going to have to make preparations and everything else. So you think completely different. Your whole approach is completely different, and maybe that's why it appears to come much quicker as well. So here we are today, October 2nd. We hope and we trust that everyone had a restful, peaceful, enjoyable evening. Those of you who are on our roads, we urge you to please be extremely cautious, whether you're a pedestrian, a cyclist, or if you're operating any type of motorized vehicle. We urge you to observe the rules of the road because the life you save may just be your own. Those of you who are celebrating a birthday today, or if you've celebrated one over the past few days, we want to wish you a happy birthday or a belated happy birthday, whichever is applicable. And to remind you that, For the Record, birthday shout-outs brought to you by Coca-Cola, who are proud to support your birthday shout-outs. Coca-Cola available across the Cayman Islands from Tortuga wholesalers. You should accept no substitutes. Taste the feeling with Coca-Cola. Those of you who have lost loved ones, we want to extend our sincere condolences to you. We do hope and we trust that your faith will help to carry you through these extremely challenging times, and that the memories of your loved ones will be a blessing. Those of you who are ill and are either at home or at a medical facility here in the Cayman Islands or overseas, we do wish you a speedy recovery as well. So folks, thank you for allowing Radio Cayman, and by extension For the Record, into your homes, into your vehicles as you traverse the busy roads of the Cayman Islands, into your places of work, wherever that may be. This morning we have in the studio with us none other than that beautiful radio voice of Miss Susan Watson, who's behind the controls waiting to take your calls. Our toll-free number, 1-800-534-8255. All the numbers, 949-8037, 949-6990. WhatsApp 925-3261. We can accommodate one caller at a time from that number as well. You can follow us on YouTube. You do that by subscribing to Radio Cayman live stream. We're on Facebook as well. So let's go first to the birthday shout-outs, and belated happy birthday to former President of the United States, Jimmy Carter, who turned 100 years of age yesterday. So belated birthday greetings going out to him. Here in the Cayman Islands, we're going to give some birthday shout-outs as well. We see that, let's get this all sorted out here. Mr. Hamlin Stevenson, he's celebrating his birthday today. Happy birthday, Mr. Hamlin Stevenson. Leanna Anderson also celebrating a birthday today. Tomorrow, Luigi Moxham. Today, Luigi Moxham is celebrating his birthday. So, Mr. Hamlin Stevenson, Leanna Anderson, Luigi Moxham, Daphne West Thompson also celebrating a birthday today. Our own Miss Uni right here at Radio Cayman, she's celebrating a birthday today as well. We want to wish her a happy birthday. Let's see who will be celebrating birthdays tomorrow. Fitzgale celebrating a birthday tomorrow. Astor Holder also celebrating a birthday tomorrow, as well as Dorothy Wilson. And surprise, 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 tomorrow Miss Karen Ryan will be celebrating her birthday as well. One of the quiet historians in the Cayman Islands, Miss Karen Ryan. She knows a lot about the history of the Cayman Islands. She has been or in a position where she can get so much information as well, and she readily shares that with everyone. So while we won't be in the studio tomorrow, we want to in advance wish her a happy birthday, and then of course on Friday we will wish her a belated happy birthday as well, Miss Karen Ryan. Want to give a big shout out to the Cayman Islands Regiment also, who are out there as usual assisting those persons who need sandbags. They are assisting as well. We know that there were persons out there who were extremely skeptical about the Cayman Islands Regiment and its purpose and everything, and we see the productive use that is being directed towards the Cayman Islands Regiment, and we want to say a big shout out to them this morning as well. We have to go to a commercial break. We have a few more birthday greetings that I have just received on WhatsApp, and we will share those with you as soon as we return. Folks, don't change that dial. Please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
The Cayman Islands boasts of a long, colorful, and rich history. In tribute to our roots, Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands, is pleased to bring you the Historical Vignette Series, brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects. The Cayman Islands, he hath founded it upon the seas.
The first recorded trading vessel between Jamaica and the Cayman Islands was the Bermuda sloop named the Experiment in 1744. One of the most valuable early accounts of Grand Cayman comes from naval hydrographer George Gauld, who made the first accurate map and recorded a detailed description of Grand Cayman in 1773. The first recorded Caymanian captain was William Bodden, captain of the schooner Susanna, which left Savannah Lamar for Grand Cayman in 1765. Bodden's son-in-law, William Eden, would go on to build Pedro Castle.
Radio Cayman's Historical Vignettes was brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects.
Since 1993, Rotary Central has worked diligently each year to provide quality bus shelters to our community. A traveling convenience to our school children, the elderly, young people going to work, guest workers, and visitors using the public bus. We, Rotary Central, help you, our advertisers, make it happen. Your marketing dollar travels a far way, positioning your message, your product, your services, your presence in over 83 bus shelters. Every dollar you spend, every advert you place helps to build another bus shelter, providing modest comfort for Cayman travelers. Reserve space now on the only billboard medium in the Cayman Islands. Email rotaryshelters@gmail.com. rotaryshelters@gmail.com. The Bus Shelters, a partner in community convenience. Another inspiration program by Rotary Central Cayman Islands.
You deserve a unique vacation this year, one with easy non-stop flights from Cayman. Cayman Airways offers more non-stop flights to and from the Cayman Islands than any other airline. Now you can add Panama and Los Angeles to your travel bucket list. Skip the hassle of connecting flights. Panama is just a 2-hour non-stop flight from Cayman. And Los Angeles? Get there in less than 5 hours non-stop aboard Cayman Airways. Call 949-2311 or visit CaymanAirways.com to book your Los Angeles or Panama getaway today.
Did you know that you can send money transfers to financial institutions anywhere in Jamaica with JN Money?
You mean I can send money straight to my account and cut out the middleman?
Yes, that's exactly what I mean. You send your own money to your own account, giving you peace of mind that the money is in your account.
JN Money Transfers to Financial Institution is another convenient service offered by JN Money. You can have this done from any JN Money location. Deposit your money straight to your account without the hassle of asking someone to do it for you. JN Money Transfers to Financial Institutions, making life easier.
West Bay Pharmacy in Centennial Towers, a compounding story.
I don't think people realize how pain creeps into your life. It has a way of robbing your strength. I really don't like taking prescription medication orally.
West Bay Pharmacy in Centennial Towers. They understand.
When it comes to compounded medication, it's personal. So whenever there's a problem with some medication or treatments that's not working right, then a physician will call me and say, hey, they're having bad side effects from this medication.
Compounding pain cream changed the game. Made special for me. Significant pain relief in the form of a cream. That is a new experience for me.
It's changed his life.
It worked.
Ask your pharmacist or healthcare provider about compounding at West Bay Pharmacy in Centennial Towers. Call 914-6449.
Can you imagine your home completely organized? At Brand Source Custom Closets, we can. We specialize in designing and building custom closets and storage units for any room in your home, including the garage. With tailored designs and custom LED lighting solutions to fit your lifestyle and budget. Our custom closets expert is committed to enhancing the value of your home with a solution that is uniquely yours. Visit our showroom or call 623-6774 to schedule a no-obligation appointment with our design expert. Brand Source Custom Closets, 209 Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park.
Tortuga's annual Drinks Festival is back from the 9th to the 13th of October for an incredible week of events, including its signature evening experience at the Westin on Saturday the 12th of October. Tickets are on sale now at tortuga.ky.
This is For the Record.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. No guests in the studio yet. We will have the presumptive leader of the opposition, soon to be leader of the opposition, Mr. Joey Hugh, in the studio after 8 o'clock news. Meanwhile, we have several birthday shout-outs again. Want to encourage people, you can send those in early. You have the WhatsApp number 925-3261. Send them in early, but if they do come in late, we will find space to squeeze them in as well. Actually, what we try to do on For the Record is we try not to book guests unless it is something extremely, extremely important and there are time constraints in terms of those persons who are going to be on the show. Not to book anyone before 8:15. This gives me an opportunity, Miss Susan, an opportunity to dialogue with you, to give you the birthday shout-outs and everything else. So while the birthday shout-outs are usually between 7:30 and 7:45, we get a late start, so we extend it further. So we're going to accommodate you and your requests at some point in time during the show. There's always a little way to squeeze things in. So this person has sent it and said they want to send special birthday greetings to Mr. Henry Whitaker, from Central, who celebrates his birthday today, and birthday greetings are coming from his family. Then we have another one. They want to send birthday greetings to their sister, Cherry Ann Chin, who celebrates her birthday today, and the birthday greetings are coming from her sister, Pat, as well. So Cherry Ann Chin, happy birthday. Greetings coming from your sister, Pat. And we have another one. Birthday shout-outs to Michelle Bryan, coming from the First Baptist Church. Happy birthday to you, Michelle Bryan, from your friends and your family at First Baptist Church. Let me find the another one as well. Want to make sure I get all of them. And this person says, please, can you wish Henry Whitaker and Larry Seymour a happy birthday today? These greetings are coming from Miss Ruth James and family, also to Mr. Henry from the Georgetown Happy Seniors Group. May God bless them to see many, many more, and you should enjoy your special day. I want to make sure I have gotten all of them. And the last one, please send happy birthday, belated happy birthday greetings to Miss Aldine Kidd, who celebrated her birthday yesterday. So happy belated birthday to you, Miss Aldine Kidd, and we hope and trust that you had a wonderful day yesterday. We have about 4 minutes left to go before we go to our 8 o'clock news. We do have a caller. Let's grab the caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, OC. Minister Brian here. How are you doing this morning?
Good morning. I am fine, sir. How are you?
Not too bad. Happy Wednesday. I see you listed off a number of people there that are in my constituency whose birthday it is today, so I want to say a happy birthday to them as well. I think Miss Ryan and Mr. Henry Whitaker are both my constituents, so I just want to say a happy special birthday for them. But more importantly, or just equally important, to announce that the government is having its press briefing today at 11 a.m., and I hope that everybody can tune in, whether at work or at home, as we are going to be announcing some things in respect to the referendum that will be held, as we announced last week, will be held now on the election day, general elections next year. And we'll be announcing the other two matters that we've decided that we're going to be adding to the referendum ballot. So I'm quite sure the public would like to know what the other two questions will be for the referendum. That will all take place today at 11 o'clock. So I'm just wishing everybody will tune in to the show.
We have about 2 minutes, but do you want to say anything about this statement that was released yesterday regarding the port strike in the eastern United States and the implications for the Cayman Islands, briefly?
Thank you, OC. Just to say that all indications from the suppliers of food here in the Cayman Islands have indicated there will be no interruptions. I know that there have been some circulations suggesting to go to the supermarkets and buy food right away. We have since checked through ports and its representatives. There's no need for that, as the major supermarkets have given us the commitment and the reassurance that they're going to have the supply uninterrupted. If anything else, we're monitoring this. If this continues or any interruptions are projected, we'll let the public know as soon as possible how to proceed.
And I believe the Chamber of Commerce has put out something as well, because one of the main factors in this is the fact that those ships that are coming to the Cayman Islands, they are not serviced by union members as well.
Correct. So just so the public is aware, it's a different port and different union members. So therefore, that's the reason why it's not affecting us. So it's important the public understands that. But we are monitoring it. Obviously, this is something that is important because we import everything. But at this point, there's no reason to be concerned.
Yep, and despite all of that, the panic buying still made to understand took place yesterday, which is unfortunate because, like you pointed out, the suppliers here, they have given assurances, as they do whenever a hurricane is approaching as well, that they have ample supply, in their stock.
Yeah, well, I think the only people who probably will benefit from that is the supermarket. So, but hopefully everybody has gotten the message by now with the press releases from yesterday. But anything new comes up, we'll definitely let the public know through all the media channels available.
Okay, Minister, I want to thank you. Thank you very much for that information that you have shared. And birthday shout-outs to all of his constituency in Georgetown Central as well. Folks, we've reached the top of the hour. 8 o'clock news, for the record. We'll be back immediately after the 8 o'clock news.
Thank you, Mr. Connor. And studio time by Foster's is 8 o'clock.
When you're on the go, the experienced team at Foster's Pharmacy are here to help. Drop off your prescription while you shop or WhatsApp us and we'll prepare it, ready for your arrival.
Whether you need prescription or over-the-counter medications, blood glucose testing, or advice on vitamins and supplements, we're here early in the morning to late at night. Both of our locations at our Camana Bay and Airport stores are open 7 a.m. to 9 p.m., Monday to Saturday.
For more info, visit fosters.ky/pharmacy. Foster's Pharmacy. Better health because we care.
The voice of the Cayman Islands.
89.9 FM in Grand Cayman and 93.9 FM in Cayman Brac and Little Cayman.
Silver wings shining in the sunlight.
Radio Cayman.
The 8 a.m. news is brought to you by ValueMed Pharmacy. Save time and order your prescription refills online at value-medpharmacy.com. VALU-medpharmacy.com.
For today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands.
With your latest news, I'm Karsley Fuller. A special meeting of the Central Planning Authority is expected today to consider a sole item, Invincible Investment Corporation's $153 million application for a hotel annex in West Bay. The applicant is hoping for another green stamp for its Weston expansion project that will include more than 230 guest rooms, 2 restaurants, conference rooms, a ground level and rooftop pool, and off-site parking. The item was last before the board back in July when permission was granted. However, that was appealed to the Planning Appeals Tribunal, and the application has been remitted back to the CPA for, quote, redetermination. Specific issues relate to zoning, with the proposed annex on the 7 Mile Beach corridor set to have 10 stories, with the immediate adjacent properties, quote, relatively low-density developments within the main tourism corridor. The other issue is parking. In its submission, the Planning Department says based on the information provided by the applicant, the overall development needs 385 parking spaces, with the applicant proposing 350 off-site spaces, which is about 91% of the required total versus the maximum allowable 50%. Proposed access to the off-site parking is through an existing driveway that supports the Cayman Falls Commercial Center and apartments. The Planning Department is recommending the CPA, quote, discuss whether the off-site scheme, lack of on-site parking, and shared access is, quote, functional for 2 hotels along a major tourism corridor. Next week, the Needs Assessment Unit will officially transition to the Department of Financial Assistance. Deputy Premier and Minister for Investment, Innovation, and Social Development, Andre Ebanks, says the team has spent the past 3 years building a system that truly puts people first.
The transition to the Department of Financial Assistance and the introduction of the Financial Assistance Appeals Tribunal marks a bold step towards ensuring that every individual in need of assistance is treated with dignity and respect based on their unique needs.
The NAU has been operating under most of the new regulations since February 2024, which provided an opportunity to fine-tune the processes, train staff on new procedures, and bring new team members on board to manage increased demand. And the Cayman Health Services Authority announces the integration of a new advanced 3D echocardiogram technology in its cardiology unit. Radio Cayman's Felicia Rankin-Solins has more.
This cutting-edge technology enhances the precision and depth of cardiac assessments, providing significant improvements over traditional two-dimensional echocardiography. HSA says the impact of the new 3D echocardiography technology has already been demonstrated with patients like Jordan Stewart, a 14-year-old athlete who faced health challenges. While traditional 2D echocardiography suggested a possible issue with the wall separating the heart's upper chambers, the use of 3D echocardiography provided a clearer view, helping to avoid the need for a more invasive procedure. I'm Felicia Rankin-Solins.
Now with a check of international news, here's the BBC, which takes us out of the newscast. I'm Karsley Fuller.
BBC News. Israel is sending more troops to join its ground operations against Iranian-backed Hezbollah militants in Lebanon. The Israeli military says infantry and armoured units are being sent. Israel's foreign ministry has announced a ban on the UN Secretary-General visiting the country, following his response on Tuesday to Iran's ballistic missile attack on Israel. Antonio Guterres called for a ceasefire, condemning what he called escalation after escalation, without specifically mentioning Tehran's attack. Palestinian health officials in the Gaza Strip say Israeli strikes on Wednesday have killed 51 people and injured more than 80 in the Khan Yunis area. The Israeli army said it had carried out airstrikes at the site of a school where Hamas fighters were hiding. Ukrainian soldiers have spoken to the BBC of a chaotic and dangerous retreat from the eastern town of Vuhledar, which Russia is now thought to almost completely control. The two men said troops had to pull out on foot and mainly at night, despite Ukraine's military command not ordering a withdrawal. The Rwandan Health Ministry has again stepped up its response to the country's first known outbreak of the highly infectious Marburg virus. The health minister told the BBC contact tracing and mass testing were being undertaken. BBC News.
The 8 a.m. news is brought to you by ValueMed Pharmacy. Save time and order your prescription refills online at value-medpharmacy.com. VALU-medpharmacy.com.
Now, more than ever, supporting your immune system is crucial to helping your body fight off illnesses like the common cold, the flu, and COVID-19. At ValueMed Pharmacy on Walkers Road and in Boddentown, we carry all the essential vitamins and minerals to help support your immune system and improve your overall health. Some of our top immunity support picks are vitamin C, vitamin D, zinc, elderberry, and quercetin are the popular 7-in-1 immunity support. Our pharmacists are always on hand to help guide you and answer any questions. Visit ValueMed Pharmacy on Walkers Road or Boddentown. Live happy, live healthy with ValueMed Pharmacy.
Stay in touch with Radio Cayman with the latest up-to-date, accurate news and information. For your convenience, the headline news will be repeated on our sister station, Breeze 105.3 FM, weekdays at 8:30 a.m. Follow Radio Cayman on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or download the Radio Cayman app in the App Store or log on to www.radiocayman.gov.ky and stay connected to what's happening in the community. Radio Cayman, your voice, your choice, your radio.
The new KFC nuggets have arrived. That unlike the no-gets, ours are handmade using 100% white meat, unlike the no-gets. At KFC, we hand bread every day to achieve the perfect flavor. After you try our delicious and crispy nuggets in the original recipe, you'll never settle for less. KFC, the real nuggets. It's finger-licking good.
Tune in every Monday through Friday at 12 p.m. for Radio Cayman's Midday Newscast. Radio Cayman, the People's Station, your trusted official source for the latest news. The 12 p.m. news is proudly brought to you by Health City Cayman Islands. World-class healthcare within your reach.
Healthcare Pharmacy, caring about your health for the past 25 years. Radio Cayman's premier health show.
Alzheimer's and dementia, are they the same disorder?
Yeah, I think that's a very important question.
For the Health of It with Tara Bush.
For the Health of It with Tara Bush.
Is heard on Saturdays at 9:30 a.m. and on Wednesdays at 7 p.m. Brought to you by Healthcare Pharmacy in Grand Harbor, where they care about your health. Transfer and refill your prescription online. Visit healthcarepharmacy.ky or call 947-8900. Healthcare Pharmacy, now with a second location in Governor's Square. Healthcare Pharmacy, where they care about your health. The 8 a.m. weather update brought to you by CG Britcade, where people come first.
Pleasant good morning. Let's take a look at the latest weather report. Current temperature is 80 degrees. Relative humidity is 92%. The barometric pressure is 29.87 inches and falling. The wind is east-southeast at 5 knots. Overnight low temperature was 76 degrees. Synopsis indicate an area of low pressure moving across the northwest Caribbean is expected to spread cloudiness and thunder showers over the Cayman area today and tomorrow, along with moderate to fresh southeasterly winds and moderate seas. Showers will be locally heavy at times, and higher than normal tides may amplify flooding of low-lying areas. Radar images show widespread thunder showers in and around the Cayman area, drifting towards the north. The Cayman Islands National Weather Service continues to maintain a flood advisory through Thursday, October 3rd. The National Hurricane Center has also marked the area of low pressure over the northwest Caribbean with a 40% chance of development over the next 7 days. The Cayman Islands National Weather Service will continue to monitor this area for any development. The forecast for today is calling for cloudy to overcast skies with thunder showers. Showers will be locally heavy at times, and flooding is expected in low-lying areas. Temperatures today will be in the mid-80s, and winds will be southeast at 15 to 20 knots, and seas will be moderate with wave heights of 3 to 5 feet, especially along the southern coast. Pretty much the same for tonight, cloudy to overcast skies with thunder showers, and showers will be locally heavy at times, and flooding also expected in low-lying areas for tonight as well. Temperatures falling to the upper 70s tonight. Your winds will be east to southeast at 10 to 15 knots with higher gusts, and seas will be moderate with wave heights of 3 to 5 feet, especially along the southern coast. High tide will be this morning at 11 minutes past 9, low tide this afternoon at 7 minutes after 3, and a high tide again tonight at 8:46. The sun will set this evening at 11 minutes past 6 and will rise tomorrow morning at 6:17. And the outlook is calling for a decrease in cloudiness and thunder showers by Friday morning, along with a decrease in winds and as the area of low pressure moves north of the Cayman area. That's the very latest on your weather report.
Take some advice from your Aunt Angie. Don't lie on your resume. Because if you say you've got trapeze experience, someone might shoot you out of a cannon and expect you to do a gymnast routine while flying through the air at 82 miles an hour. And just because you want to land on your feet doesn't mean you will. But if you're smart, you'll have CG medical insurance, so you get the best coverage for the price.
Get the best coverage for the price. CG Britcade. Good like that. All benefits are subject to policy provisions, including eligibility at the time of service.
The 8 a.m. weather update brought to you by CG Britcade, where people come first.
You deserve a unique vacation this year, one with easy non-stop flights from Cayman. Cayman Airways offers more non-stop flights to and from the Cayman Islands than any other airline. Now you can add Panama and Los Angeles to your travel bucket list. Skip the hassle of connecting flights. Panama is just a 2-hour non-stop flight from Cayman. And Los Angeles? Get there in less than 5 hours non-stop aboard Cayman Airways. Call 949-2311 or visit CaymanAirways.com to book your Los Angeles or Panama getaway today.
I am in the studio with Darrell Dakers, owner of Health for Today. Many will remember him as Cayman's native son, a name given to Darrell during his extensive musical career. So Darrell, tell us about the exciting news that we're hearing about Health for Today.
I'm also a health counselor, and Health for Today is not just another supplement, skincare, and nutritional company. We offer some of the finest supplements and skincare products in the world. And by the way, we don't just sell vitamins, we sell vitamins and minerals together to obtain success in your health. Vitamins by themselves is like baking a cake, putting in salt and no sugar. We also support you with a new lifestyle change. And some of our supplements are researched throughout the world more than any other supplements. Our joy is helping people.
Wow, this sounds very exciting, Darrell. How do we contact you?
Contact 928-1503 or visit Health for Today, and that is healthfortoday@.ky. HEALTHFORTODAY.ky.
Are you ready to rock? Join Meals on Wheels, Butterfield, and Radio Cayman on Friday, October 25th for the 2024 Seniors Rock Dress Down Day. Individuals, businesses, and schools can support this Meals on Wheels Dress Down Day by purchasing official Seniors Rock merchandise or by organizing a Dress Down Day to Rock Orange, with donations going to provide hot meals and warm smiles to over 300 seniors every day. To register your company, place an order, or learn more, email info@mealsonwheels.ky or call 769-1974. To donate, visit pledgeasenior.com. Rock with us in our fight to end senior hunger on Friday, October 25th, and support Meals on Wheels Seniors Rock 2024.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Enjoy a delicious start to your day with breakfast from Subway.
Good morning once again. Let's take a look this time at traffic. Traffic is slow moving on Crew Road heading to Georgetown. Expect some delays as we look further up on Shamrock Road and Rex Creighton Boulevard. Traffic is heavy and heavy traffic on the Linford Pearson Highway. Coming off of Agnes Way, traffic is steady, and also on Bobby Thompson Way and continuing on to Huldah Avenue. As we turn our eyes to the West Bay Road in front of the Ritz, traffic is moving on moderately in both directions, as well as Godfrey Nixon Way and Eastern Avenue. And on Owen Roberts Drive, traffic is flowing light to moderate. If you've seen accidents or incidents, please give us a call here at Radio Cayman 949-6990. That's what's happening on your roads. Join us again at about 10 minutes past 12. We'll give you another look at traffic.
The rich flavors of Italy just arrived at Subway. Say ciao to the Italianos. Our 3 new Subway Series recipes, carefully crafted with an Italian flair. Try the Hot Shot Italiano for an enticing and zesty touch. The tastier than ever Ultimate BMT, generously stuffed with a mix of ham, pepperoni, and salami. Or go all in with a creamy chicken bacon Alfredo. New Subway Series Italianos. Chef-crafted greatness in every bite. Elevate your game only at Subway. Delizioso.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Enjoy a delicious start to your day with breakfast from Subway.
Homeowners, protecting your family and property is crucial during the season, and you should always assess insurance needs long before a storm makes landfall. Most insurers won't issue new policies or increases when a storm is imminent. Cayman Insurance Center's team of professionals can help owners like you find the most comprehensive coverage and competitive rates. Call the insurance professionals at Cayman Insurance Center 949-4657 or email info@cic.com.ky. Don't take chances with your family's future or your valuable assets. Call Cayman Insurance Center's insurance professionals today at 949-4657.
Marketers, creatives, and visionaries, are you ready to be inspired? Join SIMPA's 11th Annual Marketing Conference, The Connect Experience, under the theme Icons and Innovators, October 11th and 12th at Hotel Indigo. Discover the latest trends in marketing innovation, sharpen your skills in hands-on workshops, and connect with industry leaders who are changing the game. Plus, celebrate the best of Cayman's marketing and creative professionals at SIMPA's Awards Gala, honoring the icons and innovators in the field. Don't miss out. Secure your tickets online at simpa.ky/events.
Social media, X, formerly Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Interact with our talk shows on YouTube. Download our official Radio Cayman app, or you can log on to our website, www.radiocayman.gov.ky. You can also add us to WhatsApp
on 925-3261.
All the latest information, breaking news, community events, and more. Radio Cayman.
With Orrett Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. As promised, my pleasure to have in the studio with me now soon to be Leader of the Opposition, now the Deputy Leader of the Opposition, presumptive Leader. You got a lot of titles at this point in time during the transition. None other than Member of Parliament, Mr. Joey Hugh. Mr. Hugh, good morning, sir. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning. Good morning, OC, and good morning to the listening public. Let me see if I am on the right. There you go. Yeah.
Got it?
Yeah. Good morning, OC, and good morning to the listening public out there, and maybe those who are watching on YouTube. I hope you are all doing well. Take your time coming in. The roads are a little wet. Thankfully, we are not under the kind of flooding that was expected from the front, so we're very thankful for that. But a pleasant good morning to all.
Okay, and I'm sure that our listeners are curious in terms of the whole transition and period and stuff like that. Would you like to explain to them where we're at in terms of the selection process and when you will officially take over as leader of the Progressives?
Yeah, thank you, OC. So the two different issues are two separate titles. One is leader of the opposition, and we are going to Parliament on Monday morning. So I would encourage persons to tune into that, and that will answer the first question, and hopefully. And the second is the leader of the party, which can only happen at our general conference, which is coming up in January of next year. But as you know, and as you rightfully said, the current leader, the Honourable Roy McTaggart, leader of opposition and leader of the party, announced about a month ago at our general council meeting, not a conference, general council meeting, that he would be stepping aside as leader of the party in January, and that he would be nominating myself to replace him, and that he would be stepping aside as leader of the opposition at the next sitting of the House in order for me to have a transition period before the January changeover.
Okay.
So yeah.
And the mere fact that the party conference will take place after the October meeting where you will be, does that present any difficulty in terms of laws as far as the appointment of the leader of the opposition in terms of what the Constitution says?
No, because it would just require that the majority of the opposition notify the governor that they support the change in leadership. And so that is the requirement under the country's constitution.
Right.
And then, of course, the requirement under the party's constitution is that there's an election at the at the conference, at the national conference, which we'll be having in January.
Excellent.
So, yeah.
Excellent. Good explanation for that. So we hope and
I know there's a little bit of confusion, but we want to make sure, and it's important to note that we are a party with a constitution and bylaws, and so we have to follow those when we do these things. So, we want to make sure that all of our ducks are in a row and that we're following our own constitution when we make these moves and these decisions. So we had to do it that way to clarify the difference between leader of the opposition, leader of the party. So.
Okay. Now, what is the public to expect in terms of leadership style and any different directions in terms of policy issues and stuff like that?
So we, there will be a noticeable change, and that's nothing to take away from the honourable leader, the current leader of the party, the Honourable Roy McTaggart. This is as a result of work that we've been doing over the last several months, doing polls and roundtable discussions, etc. And we have determined from that, and some will say, well, it's pretty obvious, but you want to use imperial data when you make these decisions, that persons respect the structure of the PPM. They also appreciate strong leadership, and in particular during the COVID times and things of that nature. They see the benefits of having organized politics. We are now, God's willing, I'll be the fourth leader of the Progressives, or PPM. You had the Honorable D. Kurt Tibbetts, who handed over to Sir Alden, and then did another term supporting him, and then Sir Alden handed over to Honorable Roy McTaggart, did another term supporting him, and the Honorable Roy McTaggart is now passing the mantle to myself and is committed to doing another term to support me. So you have that continuity. What our members are telling us, though, and what we are hearing from the general public, is that they want to see something fresh. They want to see, they pointed out all of the strengths of the PPM, but in the weaknesses and the weaknesses.
And this is through polling.
This is through polling and through roundtable discussions and that sort. So they want to see, something fresh from the PPM. They want to see a bit of younger blood. They want to see a party that's a bit more in tune with the younger people and with the general public. And so everything that we will be doing will be centered around that imperial data, that we need to be a bit more. Coming on the radio is great and being active, but we actually need to be out there a bit more and hearing and feeling the needs of the people and representing those needs. And so we are evolving as a country, and we have evolved as a country. I was, speaking on a podcast the other day that 2013, when I entered politics, the country was in a different position than it's in today. Completely different position. The issues back then were different than they are today. The economy was in trouble. Hotels were in receivership. Construction was at an all-time low. Unemployment for Caymanians was above 10%. Our relationship with the UK was strained at best. And so those were challenges we faced there. Today's challenges are completely different from those. And so we have to evolve as a government, as a party, as a government in waiting to address the issues that we're facing today. And that's what we intend to do. And I also, an interesting fact, I said, you take the voting public, and we're all talking, because there is a concern that not all of our young people 18 to 25 are registering to vote or are involved. And when we talk about the past, when you think about 2013, how old was an 18-year-old then?
Yes.
At elections, they would have been 6 years old. So they really don't remember. They don't care about that.
Precisely. Yes,
they care about what's happening today and what is their future. And so we have to bear that in mind, and we have to consciously make an effort. So to answer your question, we will see a difference in the party. We'll see, obviously, there's going to be a change in leadership. There'll be just by nature, there'll be a change in style. But by design, you'll be seeing a new party, a new beginning. We internally we talk about it. We call it PPM 4.0.
So it's not a situation where you have a leader who is being pulled away, kicking and screaming.
No, not at all. And as I said, I started it by saying, with absolutely, with full respect for Honorable Roy McTaggart, this is not something that falls on him. It's just something that as time goes on, these things change. If you go back to, like I said, if you go back 12 years ago, if you go back 8 years ago, the issues were different. The climate was different, and people are now we went through the little experiment of the independence, and we see where that has brought us. And now people are saying, okay, back to organized politics, but here's what we don't like, and here's what we want to see.
What are you going to be doing in terms of the people's perceptions? And you talk about new leadership, new style, younger generation, and everything else. What will you be doing to attract younger persons to the Progressives?
Well, we are going to go to them. That is a hope.
Meet them where they are.
Meet them where they are. We will have events. We have, I just spent a 2.5-hour meeting yesterday with the team, going through different events coming up in the future. we will stay tuned, because we will be having events that will appeal to first of all, our grassroots supporters and the general public, but we'll also have specific events targeting and going to the younger people. I will make myself as available as possible. I've already gone on a couple of talk shows. I've been on a podcast that I intend to go back on again that appeals to the younger persons, and not only to sell them on myself or what we have. That's not what I'm there for. I'm there to hear what their concerns are, and how can we address them, and to provide them possibly with the information they need to make an informed decision, or to to understand how or when or why they can or cannot achieve what they're trying to achieve. So these are the things that we'll be doing over the next few months, and I think the general public will be pleased with it. We certainly will be intentional in our goals and our actions.
Okay, we're going to take a commercial break. I'll tell you the next question that I'll ask, when we return, is that, we know, or if there have been persons who were initially involved with the progressives and the formation of it, and who have become somewhat disillusioned with the party or the progressive movement, what will you be doing to try to attract them back into the fold, as well? Because many of them have absolutely nowhere to go, because the progressives are the only organized political entity in the Cayman Islands, and what you will do to attract them, to bring them back into the fold. And come next week, Monday, when Parliament resumes, we will have, we believe, a new leader of the opposition. Will we also have a new deputy leader of the opposition as well? Folks, breaking news right here on For the Record. Please stay tuned. For the Record, we'll be back shortly.
Did you know that Doctors Hospital provides urgent care services 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? And Doctors Hospital's urgent care physicians have access to the most advanced MRI and CT imaging in the Caribbean, providing reliable diagnostics when you need it most. When you need quality urgent care for an illness or injury, Doctors Hospital is here for you 24/7. Whether it's a migraine, chest or abdominal pain, shortness of breath, broken bones, or another urgent need, Doctors Hospital at the top of Walker's Road. Urgent care right now.
You can now renew your driver's license or motor vehicle license online, and you don't need an ESID number. It's as easy as 1, 2, 3. Visit www.dvdl.gov.ky.
When it comes to weekly meal prep, I trust Kirk Market to provide the best value for quality proteins. The butchers at Kirk Market are super helpful. They always slice my steaks perfectly. Kirk Market has everything I need for healthy and flavorful protein-packed meals. From lean cuts of CAB choice beef, tender CAB prime beef, the juiciest pork, and all-natural hormone-free poultry, to their seafood section with everything from fresh local snapper to omega-3 rich salmon. I choose Kirk Market for the highest quality proteins to support my healthy lifestyle. Kirk Market. Eat well, live well, and discover a world of choice.
At Kirk's Home Center, we can make your life much better. We got it all together. We got a great deal in store for you. From cookware to stereos, from power tools to plumbing supplies. Yeah, we got the best goods with the best price, and a service to make you smile. At Kirk's Home Center, we got a great deal in store for you.
This is For the Record.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. My pleasure to have in the studio with me this morning the presumptive leader of the Progressives and soon to be leader of the opposition in our parliament, now the deputy leader of the opposition, Mr. Joey Hugh. So folks, when I spoke about breaking news earlier, and this wasn't planned at all. This is just, everything here is basically,
my notes out the window.
Yeah, it is being done on the fly, but I have sensed the willingness of Mr. Hugh to be transparent, to be open, for dialogue, to talk about the party, to talk about the good things about the party, to talk about some of the shortfalls of the party, and also to say to you and to what the party plans on doing. Those persons who became disgruntled with the progressives at some point in time, and I guess in the U.S. They would be classified as independents, because a Republican doesn't want to say, I'm switching over to a Democrat. I'll remain an independent in the meantime, and we have seen people remain independent. We know many are disillusioned about independence and having a government comprised of independence. And my other question to him had to do with, we're going to hear in Parliament, we're going to see a new leader of the opposition. Will we also see a deputy leader? And then one of our listeners has asked me to ask Mr. Hugh, what is the PPM's plan for immigration reform, because it is the most important issue facing the real Caymanian people. So if you can make a note of that, and at some point in time, we can talk about the reform, as well. But attracting people into the fold, and are we going to see a deputy leader of the opposition as well?
Thank you, O.C. Yeah, thanks for taking us down this road. So, speaking about our membership and supporters, that is, it is always difficult when you are in the opposition to maintain a level of inclusion, a level of excitement, enthusiasm. And in particular, I had never been in the opposition before, so I'm not entirely sure, but how others felt. But I got the feeling that, we spent more time watching the dramas unfold on the other side than we spent being opposition. And the mere amount of the lack of ability or lack of attendance at the Parliament also restricted our job as opposition members. And so it became, we had, our membership pounding us, saying, you guys got to do more, you got to say more, this is a mess, this is, we just simply struggle for the reasons I just said, struggle to find ways to do that, other than, and I've said it before to you, I don't want to come on the radio every week and beat up my chest and be negative. We still live in the best country in the world, in my opinion. And I think that our issues are not insurmountable, that we can't resolve them. We can have political differences, we can, we can have different ideas and policies, we can have different ideas on what structure we should have in whether it should be single-member constituents or multi-member or, roaming members. But at the end of the day, we're still, one of the best places in the world to live. And so...
Wouldn't swap it for any other.
Wouldn't swap it for any other. So to come in and be negative all the time and attacking people's character or, that's simply, I think, counterproductive and certainly not my style. But what we have been doing, again, I want to thank all those that came out. I've said this before to the National Council meeting. We were just... I was overwhelmed with the response there and the support that we had there. We had a packed house that overflowed outside, a tremendous turnout, some faces that I hadn't seen in a while, and it just felt good. It felt good to be there. It felt good to have those persons there. I have personally reached out to many of our former members. Certainly the founding members of the party, I've reached out to each one of them individually. Just to let them know what was happening in advance. and to say to them, I look forward to working with them, look forward to having their support, and I still see them as a foundation of the progressives. They may no longer be members. Some of them ended up in opposition against us, but at the end of the day, I still see them as progressives, and I still see them, or as PPM members, and I see them as the foundation of the party of what we are seeing here today, some 24 years later or something. So we will, as I said, we will continue to have to be accessible, to go to people and to be accessible, to be there, to include. That's a huge thing for me, is to include everyone, and give people opportunity. We will see, fresh blood coming in at the conference in January. You will see a difference. It's not. We want a lot of it to be organic, but the intention and the direction is, I should say, the direction is intentional, if that makes sense. So that's on our membership and the party. The leader of the opposition, yes, there will have to be a deputy leader of the opposition, and I don't want to give out all the secrets today, so
okay.
I want people to tune in. I want for there to be news on Monday. So and understanding that this is leader and deputy leader of the opposition up until the House prorogues next year for the election, and then that obviously all kind of falls away.
Right.
And then we start to focus on the leadership and the deputy leadership of the party, which will come to light at the conference when we have that. So there you go. I want to. I haven't forgotten the immigration question. Before I forget, and I do have some of the things we want to go that we're bringing to the Parliament, but before I forget, I think it's very important. First of all, I want to say how fortunate we have been this far, and to thank God for His continuance protection over us. With the storm last week, we saw the damage that it went on to do in the U.S.
Yes.
My constituency, a part of my constituency is one of the worst affected on the flooding. And I just want to, congratulate those persons for their resilience and their attitude. I was out there. All I can do is walk the street and be there for them, and assist some people sometimes in cleaning off the grates and the drain, but no great sacrifice or real impact other than to be there. But I was just heartened by the attitude of the person, of my constituents, who were like, well, at least we don't have the wind. We might be water in our house a little bit and stuff, but we're used to that. We can deal with that. That God, thank God we don't have the wind and what happened. And so it just shows the resilience of our people in times, and that really, because it's not an easy job. It is not an easy job, and you take a deep breath and you get out of your vehicle, and because you don't know what you're going to run into, whether you're going to run into angry people, whether you're going to run into sad stories that just tear at your heart. But I can tell you, people were like happy to see me, but at the same time, I just drew strength from their attitudes. It's just, I really wanted to say that publicly, because it really, really, I don't even want to use the word impressed, because who am I to be impressed? Because I'm not in the situation. But it was heartfelt, and I recognized it, and it really demonstrated to me just how resilient our people are. And so I will continue to work. I want to segue then into thanking the NRA, the team. Every time I called, and I would say, I'll have to call his name because he's my main contact, Ellington. And, when I call him, I would say, Ellington, I know, it's the tides. I know you guys are working hard, but can you please just go and see if it'll make a difference and vacuum that drain or pump that drain? And without fail, they always are willing to go and do it. And they know themselves sometimes. It just makes people feel better to see them trying. and they understand that there's probably not much they can do, but you know, thank you to NRA and their crew for always there to try, always willing to try.
Yeah, so that people don't feel that they're being
forgotten, neglected. Yeah,
yes.
yeah. And I know, some roads are still underwater. Some people still have water in their area. I can reassure them that the NRA are working hard, not just on the drains, but they're clearing the dike roads, opening up culverts, re-engineering culverts and dike roads to ensure that the flow off happens. And so I just want to recognize that and thank them. And I want to also thank Hazard Management for their continued provision of information, extremely helpful. They've ironed out the kinks in that, and we now receive the information that we can, and which is important, we now receive the factual information that we can now pass on to our constituents through our various chat groups, etc. And so I want to recognize that, and then of course recognize and the regiment for their role that they play, if it's just the sandbags or just having the knowledge to know that if we need, help is needed, they're right there for us. So yeah. I wanted to and just say continue to pray and as this system that's passing us right now isn't as bad as it was forecasted, so we're thankful for that. We still have a bit of rain I saw on the radar this morning to contend with, and now we turn our attention to watching the system that's approaching the Lesser Antilles, and we just continue to pray that. Yeah,
they're going to keep coming fast and furious this time of the year. Right. I could swear by Lakeview Apartments that I heard a motor running yesterday morning when we were riding by there around about, I guess that would have been after 4 o'clock in the morning.
It's running 24 hours. There's a pump running 24 hours a day. So it's to move some of the water from the southern end, the dike roads and around Lakeview and the southern end into the dikes on the northern end where there's a culvert out to the North Sound. Okay. So they're deliberately, one of the culverts is there, they're deliberately pumping the water across the dike road there into that culvert. The culvert is actually right at the foot of the dike road. So the pump literally goes and pushes the water out into the North Sound.
I thought that's what it was.
Yeah.
Okay, folks, we're going to take a commercial break. Lord Graham, when we return, I'm sure that Mr. Hugh will answer your question about immigration. I'm wondering about Lord Graham. He's been on the platforms quite a bit, whether or not he's going to be a candidate or not. Is he going to be one of the secret weapons that will be coming out in the next election? Folks, please stay tuned. Just asking. Please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
West Bay Pharmacy in Centennial Towers, a compounding story.
I don't think people realize how pain creeps into your life. It has a way of robbing your strength. I really don't like taking prescription medication orally.
West Bay Pharmacy in Centennial Towers. They understand.
When it comes to compounded medication, it's personal. So whenever there's a problem with some medication or treatments that's not working right, then a physician will call me and say, hey, they're having bad side effects from this medication.
Compounding pain cream changed the game. Made special for me. Significant pain relief in the form of a cream. That is a new experience for me.
It's changed his life.
It worked.
Ask your pharmacist or healthcare provider about compounding at West Bay Pharmacy in Centennial Towers. Call 914-6449.
You deserve a unique vacation this year, one with easy non-stop flights from Cayman. Cayman Airways offers more non-stop flights to and from the Cayman Islands than any other airline. Now you can add Panama and Los Angeles to your travel bucket list. Skip the hassle of connecting flights. Panama is just a 2-hour non-stop flight from Cayman. And Los Angeles? Get there in less than 5 hours non-stop aboard Cayman Airways. Call 949-2311 or visit CaymanAirways.com to book your Los Angeles or Panama getaway today.
Your dream home starts with a vision, and often inspiration is at the heart of that vision. Brand Source Home Gallery's in-house designers are here to help bring your vision to life. Whether you're remodeling or building a new home, Brand Source Home Gallery is your one-stop solution. Explore their kitchen cabinets, sinks, faucets, bath fixtures, tubs, vanities, and more. Let Brand Source's designers help and inspire you with your next project. Call 623-5000 and schedule an appointment with a design expert at Brand Source Home Gallery, Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park, serving Cayman for 50 years.
When it comes to weekly meal prep, I trust Kirk Market to provide the best value for quality proteins. The butchers at Kirk Market are super helpful. They always slice my steaks perfectly. Kirk Market has everything I need for healthy and flavorful protein-packed meals. From lean cuts of CAB choice beef, tender CAB prime beef, the juiciest pork, and all-natural hormone-free poultry, to their seafood section with everything from fresh local snapper to omega-3 rich salmon. I choose Kirk Market for the highest quality proteins to support my healthy lifestyle. Kirk Market. Eat well, live well, and discover a world of choice.
For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. My pleasure to have in the studio with me current Deputy Leader of the Opposition, Mr. Joey Hugh. Mr. Hugh, back over to you, sir.
Thank you. And to get to that question before we go into the next week's meeting of the House, yes, there's absolutely need for a review of our immigration laws. Again, was it suited for when they were passed? More than likely, but an entire, almost a whole new workforce has come along since that. Things have changed. Our population has probably almost doubled since the last review and since the last, if you want to use the word reform, I like to use the word review because we have an immigration law in place. We have something that for the most part worked for the Cayman Islands, but that was then and we are now. And so there has to be a review of it. Just if you just simply from the surface look at it, that there are two categories under the PR application process that everyone is getting full points because they were deemed to be discriminatory or etc. That has never been addressed. So even if you simply just had amendments now to remove those two categories, that would stop everyone from receiving full points for those two categories. Which could make a huge difference in the point scale. But I do believe that we need to have a comprehensive review, public input, and an updated immigration law that's tailor-made to the needs of the Cayman Islands today.
Okay. And you spoke earlier about the progressives and how you were able to garner the views of your membership in terms of, the progressives and what you should be doing. The whole immigration discussion has been going on and on. I think we have a pretty good idea what the main issues are, what people want. But rather than getting into a prolonged consultation period again, which usually happens, maybe some polling on it so that at the end of the day, something can be done, because people are now looking for action rather than just consultation.
Well, again, yeah, absolutely. And there have been committees. This government had a committee reviewing it. We all know that there are some. I just mentioned the two categories where you are getting full points. There's some low-hanging fruit that could happen immediately. I'm sure that the technocrats have a working document with that. But you're absolutely right. How do you go out and consultate with the public? You have to consultate with the public, and you obviously have to consultate with the private sector as well. So these things have to be done, but they have to be done with a sense of urgency and with a desired outcome that we have an immigration law that's tailor-made to the Cayman Islands for the people of the Cayman Islands. And without getting into the debate, and I often joke about, not joke, but it is, we simply have more jobs than we have people, so we have to be careful about how we handle that. But I think that, in my personal opinion, OC, there are some low-hanging fruit that we can start with, and I mentioned a few of those. And another one of those is simply enforcement. I mean, we all see people on a daily basis. In my constituency, there are people that still hang out waiting to get a day's work on the corner of the road. I have advocated for a long time that with the lack of information because due to the fact that we have no tax, so if we had tax, you would be able to see that, okay, Joe Schmo has a work permit, has been here 8 months, but he hasn't paid any tax. So how is Joe Schmo living? But what we do have is pension.
Yeah.
And I believe, my memory serves me, I think one of the hurdles there was legislation to allow the two departments to exchange information, share information. But after the 6-month period, you should see pensions coming in for that individual. And so if that individual is out there moonlighting and working illegally, then that'll pop up right away. So that's just one of the areas that they can use. But I think enforcement if we start there, enforcement will play a huge role in addressing some of the concerns that our people have with immigration at the moment. Immigration for most people look at it, I need a helper, I need a gardener. I'm a small business. I need someone I can rely on, that if I take a vacation, my shop will open and somebody will be there. For most people, that's what it means. And for others as well, it means, why are so many cars on the road? Everybody has a car. Look at this person. If you sit and look and see how many Caymanians drive in a car, and in today's day and age, I don't know how you tell who's Caymanian from. The lines and just different things. Quality of life, OC. Quality of life causes you to look at things around you, and I think those are, overall, again, how do we address the quality of life for our people? Something as simple, and I harp on it all the time, but public transport. How do we better public transport, that more people use public transport and less people on the road? And that then you can become even stricter on who owns a car and that sort of stuff. And how does that equate to a better quality of life for our people? You don't have that stress on the road like you have now, where you're sitting in traffic. And I even hate, I saw one this morning, my son and I dropping him off to school, and I'm like, how in the world does this person have a driver's license? I mean, this person is just simply driving on the wrong side of the road, and making a right turn and turning in on the right side and stuff like that. Wow. You have to wonder how many people are out there driving without a license. But it's these little things. There are a lot of low-hanging fruit that we can address immediately. And I really believe that enforcement is one of those. And I think if we just went out and spoke to the general public, everybody could give you an example of where the law is being abused.
Now, there are those who would argue that, while enforcement may be a low-hanging fruit, even before we get to enforcement, more scrutiny of the applications that are being put forward, because those persons who do have a work permit and they're still out there looking work because their quote-unquote employer doesn't have work for them, means much more scrutiny of the application in itself. And I was talking to someone yesterday, and they were lamenting the fact that the institutional knowledge that we had in immigration, work doesn't have it now. They say, they go into work offices and you see all of these young kids, young folks inside there, they're on a computer, and a lot of the institutional knowledge in terms of scrutiny of applications, knowing employers, that it is simply missing, from there as well. And not to mention the selection of the various board members as well, who, go in there and bring something to the table when they're dealing with applications.
And not just a political favor.
Yes, yeah.
OC, you're absolutely right. And I was wrong. I rolled that all into enforcement, okay. and you're absolutely right. It's I have, I had a gentleman tell me personally that someone came to him and said, I need you to put in for a work permit for this person for me because they won't give me any more work permits. So he said, okay. He said, I'll pay you for it. And he said, okay. And he just made up a company name, typed up a letterhead saying that giving this guy a subcontract to do a job, that guy submitted it and got the work permit. Wow. So no one checked to see that the company offering the other company a subcontract was even real, was legitimate.
Wow. That's troublesome.
So that is troublesome. And these are the sorts of things that we're dealing with. So again, you need an entire department that just focuses on those sorts of things and follow through on things. There is this thing called anyway, I'm going to reserve. I'm going to give benefit of doubt and reserve those things, comments like that, until I am in a position to get answers direct from the source on those.
Okay, that gives us an opportunity to go to our headline news, top of the hour. Headline news, folks, for the record, we'll be back immediately after this short break for our headline news.
This is the People's Radio Station. Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands. From Radio Cayman's newsroom, this is Headlines. Local, regional, international news.
The headline news is brought to you by Kirk Market and Health Services Authority.
As part of Breast Cancer Awareness Month, you are invited to an awareness meeting at East End United Church Hall. It's taking place at 7 p.m. tonight, hosted by the Lions Club of Tropical Gardens. Head to our website, radiocayman.gov.ky, for a full list of this month's events. The Israeli military and Hezbollah report ground fighting inside southern Lebanon a day after Israel announced it was invading. The IDF says it's using precision-guided munitions and close-range engagements inside Lebanon. Hezbollah reports clashes in at least 2 areas near the border, claiming it, quote, repelled one Israeli attack. Earlier, Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said Iran would, quote, pay after Iran fired around 180 missiles at Israel on Tuesday. Most of the missiles were intercepted. One Palestinian was killed in the West Bank, and a school in central Israel and areas near Tel Aviv were hit. In Gaza, the Hamas-run health ministry says Israeli strikes in Khan Yunis killed at least 51 people. Those are your headlines. I'm Carsley Fuller.
More news available at www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Check out our social media pages: Facebook, YouTube, X, formerly Twitter, Radio Cayman Headline News.
Do you have a healthcare question but not sure who to ask? Contact HSA's Patient Call Center to speak to one of our experienced clinical team members. We are here to answer your questions and help guide you through your healthcare journey. Need to make an appointment? Our team can help. Contact HSA at 949-8600 or email info@hsa.ky. At HSA, we are committed to caring for you.
When it comes to weekly meal prep, I trust Kirk Market to provide the best value for quality proteins. The butchers at Kirk Market are super helpful. They always slice my steaks perfectly. Kirk Market has everything I need for healthy and flavorful protein-packed meals. From lean cuts of CAB choice beef, tender CAB prime beef, the juiciest pork, and all-natural hormone-free poultry, to their seafood section with everything from fresh local snapper to omega-3 rich salmon. I choose Kirk Market for the highest quality proteins to support my healthy lifestyle. Kirk Market. Eat well, live well, and discover a world of choice.
For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Good morning. Welcome back to For the Record. My pleasure to have in the studio with me this morning Mr. Joe Hugh. He's going to be here until about 9:30, I believe. And he will have to leave us. And he, put aside his notes before, to take questions from me that were not planned, but to talk about the progressives, the party structure, what's in, looking towards the future of the party and everything else. This person has written in and said, Good morning, Mr. Connor and Mr. Hugh. What assurances would you give to younger voters in regards to the employment in government and the private sector when the person has attended a prestigious university, when people have attended prestigious universities and are fully qualified to take up employment in the government or the private sector? What's happening to succession planning? What's happening to the Constitution regarding employment for Caymanians as well? So, yes.
Thank you, O.C. Let me just, it's actually a good question because I have constituents who are coming home now from university and are finding it difficult and on government scholarships, some of them find it difficult to get jobs. What I can say is that I have found the deputy governor, or from the government side, I have found the deputy governor amenable to meeting with these individuals. If there is not a job available for them, they do not have a program where they have jobs waiting for persons to come home from university.
Right.
But he is certainly more than willing to meet with young graduates to see if there's a place that he can fit them in, and to offer any assistance there. So, that is as much as I know. I've heard that he's provided that avenue for me on a couple of occasions where I've inquired. On the other side, we had a meeting with the Chamber of Commerce last week, and outside of immigration reform and enforcement and that sort of stuff, and we discussed programs that their membership could get involved with, such as a +1 programs, and then maybe even government can support that, where for 3 months or something, government actually contributes towards the salary for their membership to have someone trained whilst towards the end of contract of a work permit, for instance. So it's more like a shadow job. They can gain the experience, they see if it fits, and then they can fill that position. So there was a bunch of other programs like that we talked about, and I must say that the Chamber Council, they were very receptive of the idea and realized, because I cited, I read off a couple of the resumes that I had of young people, that, masters and that sort of stuff, and we're finding it difficult even getting a job as a secretary's assistant, which people are going to say, well, you're overqualified for that. So we have to work, we have to put a department together under Labour, look at programs like that. Second chance programs are not just university graduates as well, but also second chance programs, where persons have went off the beaten track but have come back. They've proven themselves, they've gotten, they're on the verge of expungement, etc., where we can have programs where we place those individuals in and consider it a second chance program, and then give them an opportunity to prove themselves and continue on and become a contributing member of society. So there are programs like that I think you will see when our manifesto come out, that we will have in there that will address those questions. And it certainly is a very good question, and one that is a issue. It is an issue. We have issues with employees as well, and further training is needed, and I think it needs to start even earlier in the schools. But we also have issues with persons who are genuinely trying to make an effort to find a job, persons coming home from universities that are struggling to find a position that is even find a position, period, and one that's even suitable is even more difficult. Okay. So we'll see if I could move on then to the business of the House. So I think the government business is the referendum, and I can chat about that in a few minutes.
Sure.
But we have submitted a bunch of questions. I don't know if we'll be able to get the questions or get to the questions, but the first question is from the member, Honourable Roy McTaggart from Georgetown East, and it says it's to the Minister of Youth, Sports and Heritage, and said, could the minister provide details of the delegation that accompanied him to the Paris Olympics, including the duration of their stay, the cost per person, and the tangible benefits this trip brought to the Caymanian people. So that's the first question. The second question comes from myself to the Honourable Minister of Tourism and Ports. Can the Minister provide an update on the current state of stayover tourism, including the arrivals by month for 2023, with the monthly comparatives for 2024, and the expected monthly arrivals by year end? And then the next question, again from myself, again to the Minister of Tourism. Can the Minister provide an update on the Waterfront Tourism Experience project, including the total cost to date? The next question is from the member from Georgetown South, Ms. Barbara Connolly, to the Minister for Investment, Innovation and Social Development. And it says, can the Minister advise the House whether the government intends to reopen the Older Persons Active Aging Centre, formerly located on McClendon Drive, which was closed following the 2021 general elections? And this is Elderly Persons Month, so it's a good time, a good time for that question. And then another question from Ms. Barbara Connolly again to the Premier, Minister of Finance and Education. Can the Honourable Premier update the House on the current temporary arrangements for students and teachers of the Cayman Islands Further Education Centre, CIFEC, and the expected date for completing the permanent premises for CIFEC? And then another question from Ms. Barbara Connolly for the Honourable Minister for Health. Can the Honourable Minister update the House on the building and fit-out costs to date for the Ponciana Mental Health Facility? And we didn't ask for an update on the opening because in the last sitting in the House she said that she will provide no further updates. So we've left that for her to provide that when she is ready, I assume. But she made that very clear. So, OC, those are the questions. Hopefully we will get to them. If we don't, I assume they'll get them in writing, and then if we do receive them in writing, we'll simply publish those answers. But it does take away from us getting the opportunity to ask supplementary questions on the answers. Mm-hmm. We do have a motion brought by myself, and it has to do, OC, and I'll read it first, and it's removing a restriction on stamp duty concessions for first-time Caymanian home buyers. And the motion reads, whereas successive governments have supported a policy aimed at encouraging Caymanian home ownership by providing concessions on an ad valorem stamp duty for Caymanians purchasing their first home or land, and whereas the Stamp Duty Act enshrines such concessions, and it has been amended and updated over time to ensure that the policy to encourage Caymanian home ownership meets the needs of the day, and whereas, despite these provisions, the Stamp Duty Act has historically excluded properties in certain blocks and parcels within West Bay and Georgetown from qualifying these concessions, and whereas the current restrictions unfairly prevent first-time Caymanian home buyers from receiving the concessions when purchasing property in designated areas in West Bay and Georgetown, be it therefore resolved that the government considers removing the arbitrary and inequitable restrictions on which properties qualify for concessions when Caymanians are purchasing their first owner-occupied home or first property. So, OCD, we're not quite sure when, and we're not blaming. We're not blaming anyone because we amended the Stamp Duty Act several times when we were in power, increasing it as prices went up,
and left those restrictions in there.
They somehow slipped under the radar each time we did it, and I think the last time this government did it, it wasn't there. In fact, it caught us. It caught even the highest of civil servants by surprise when this popped up. I believe that this goes back to when we used to have the structured stamp duty regime, and so this fell into it. But basically, as you know, as a first-time Caymanian homeowner, if you are buying in up to $300,000 for land and $600,000 for a home, you qualify for a stamp duty waiver. Okay. This now tells you where you can or cannot buy, which makes no sense to me.
Yeah.
Because if we were talking, talk about social diversification. If we're saying to our young Caymanians or Caymanian people, you're not allowed to live on 7 Mile Beach, or you're not allowed to live on the water. I mean, I don't understand.
Or if you do decide to live, you're not going to get government help.
You're not getting government help to do so. So that's just reserved for the rich people. And it also includes Watlers Road and Eastern Avenue, part of Eastern Avenue, anything on the road front. So, this completely went over my head a few years back when a family in Watlers Road, one of the family members was buying out the family property from the others and came with this horrendous stamp duty fee attached to it. And the nature of the family, they wouldn't sign a for love and affection transfer. So he applied, and I assisted him in applying for a waiver, and the waiver was given, and he fixed up the house, and all good things came out of that. I hadn't realized that was the reasoning for this horrendous stamp duty being applied. I hadn't realized that this was his first time purchase. I thought it was just, this wasn't his first time purchase, and so the stamp duty was applied to it. So going back and looking at it, I was like, oh my gosh, so even Watlers Road is affected by that if the house is on the road. Eastern Avenue, you have so many homes that are owned by Caymanian families that are, I'm assisting some of them going through trying to get the probate done and then they're going to run into a hurdle when it comes time to transfer it because they won't be able to get that stamp duty waiver. Right. And so I think it's just an anomaly. I don't see any issues coming out of it. No one can give me any sound reasoning as to why that's in there. We take it all the way back, like I said, to when we had that structured stamp duty application. So
and why did it take a private member's motion to do that as opposed to getting the government to simply bring an amendment to the legislation?
I don't know. Maybe they, I didn't ask that question. We just stumbled upon it in trying to assist people in getting homes and getting homes transferred in their names, and so I didn't want to wait on the government to do it. I think it's important. We see a leveling out of the market at the moment, and I would hate for it to become a buyer's market, and then Caymanians are excluded from purchasing or taking opportunities, advantage of opportunities in desired areas to live.
Now, can it be done without having to go back to Parliament to change the legislation? Can this be done through Cabinet?
It's my understanding that even the last changes we made hasn't been brought in legislation as yet, but the Ministry of Finance is recognizing those that were passed in the House. So it could be a government policy that you just simply apply for the waiver, and the Minister of Finance provides a waiver for it until legislation can be passed.
Okay, we're going to take our last commercial break before Mr. Hugh has to leave us. Folks, please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
She hear clunk and her car stop. I was just about to send her some money, so I send it straight to her JN money transfer card. It cost me less, and perhaps she use the card, pay the garage right away. She'll get discount through the JN Rewards program in Jamaica. This card make things easy. You can even get funds at any multi-link ATM.
JN Money Transfer Card. Fast, affordable, convenient. Tell your loved ones in Jamaica about it. Sign up is free.
The DVDL Customer Support Unit is now open. Customers can book appointments for written and driving tests through DVDL's hotline at 945-8344. That's 945-8344.
Accidents and illnesses can strike without warning. Ouch! When it comes to urgent care, every second counts. At Doctors Hospital, we have a dedicated team of experienced doctors and nursing staff available to you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Don't waste time in an overcrowded emergency room when you need urgent care. Whether it's a broken bone, a severe infection, or a sudden illness, trust in Doctors Hospital's unwavering dedication to providing the best immediate care. For complete urgent care when you need it the most, choose Doctors Hospital, located in Georgetown, 16 Middle Road.
When it comes to weekly meal prep, I trust Kirk Market to provide the best value for quality proteins. The butchers at Kirk Market are super helpful. They always slice my steaks perfectly. Kirk Market has everything I need for healthy and flavorful protein-packed meals. From lean cuts of CAB choice beef, tender CAB prime beef, the juiciest pork, and all-natural hormone-free poultry, to their seafood section with everything from fresh local snapper to omega-3 rich salmon. I choose Kirk Market for the highest quality proteins to support my healthy lifestyle. Kirk Market. Eat well, live well, and discover a world of choice.
For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. We're on the last leg of the show this morning with Mr. Hugh. Mr. Hugh, I know that you're going to touch on the subject of erosion. So one person had sent in a WhatsApp question in relation to the erosion on the south end of 7 Mile Beach. They point out that it's getting progressively worse, to see much of the beach that is being lost on that stretch. And they point out that the last week the Sovereign condos had a lot of damage in that area as well. So I know you're going to touch on the issue of beach erosion.
Thank you, OC. I just wanted to reassure everyone that, and it is in my constituency at the moment, it's only my constituency, but I am very concerned that at the rate in which it is moving north. We are now talking about possibly close to half mile of beach, completely eroded right up to the structures on the beach, with structures falling into the water at this point.
Wow.
Or pilings being exposed. OC, there has been many studies done. There was a task force formed by the government. Unfortunately, I think in the transition of the ministry's responsibilities from Ministry of
Environment?
No, it was under the Ministry of Sustainability to the Ministry of Lands. And then now I'm not sure if it's back under sustainability, because at the moment we have a couple of issues. And I want to say right now that I reached out to the Minister, Catherine Ebanks, Minister of Sustainability. She responded right away, as I promised the constituents there, and we have a meeting set for tomorrow with her and her team. So I want to say that out front, that she has responded, and we'll be meeting tomorrow, the first time, because they had a delay in caucus and cabinet this week, so tomorrow is the first opportunity she'll have to meet with me. The issues we're facing now is obviously the beach erosion. It is now at a state of emergency, where it is now continuing to, as each part gets eroded, a new current starts. And as each of these, so there's like 3 currents there right now on the southern end of 7 Mile Beach. And as these currents evolve, they start to eat away further and further down. And so something has to be done to stop that rapid progression to the north. We have trees in the water, which some feel are causing some of the erosion, causing some of the current changes, because the whole tree is blocking where the sand can go and water can go. We have had difficulties, they have had difficulties in getting permission to remove the trees. Then we have structures that are now falling in the water. And we'll see, not only is it the ocean-facing part of the structure, but the sea in the heavy waves last week created canals up the side of the properties. And so structures inland set way back, that canal has now collapsed those structures into the water. So we have some of the major condos have water coming up the side of it now. And one other property which has been widely publicized in the press, you can see pictures of the structures falling in the water. Again, in that instance, there has been delays in getting permission to remove those structures, and it is a safety hazard. The company has put security officers there, but they really can't control it and stop people from coming to look and walking by. And it is really an eyesore, but it's also a very dangerous situation.
And that permission has to come from planning?
That's a coastal works license.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It's DOE.
Yeah.
Right, so it's a coastal works license, and so until.
So when we're talking about structures, things like cabanas and
talking
whatever?
about buildings,
talking
about condos being exposed, pilings being exposed. So no, we're talking about buildings.
Wow.
The bigger issue to that, OC, is that if you're going into the I Love Cayman and all these other tourism, if you Google Cayman Islands or have alerts from Cayman Islands, word is spreading quickly that 7 Mile Beach is gone. If you're going to the Cayman Islands, you better check, because 7 Mile Beach is no longer there. If you're going to the beach, there's no beach. So these pictures are getting out there, and word is getting out there, and people are now looking at other islands because they think that 7 Mile Beach is gone. And I can bet you heard my parliamentary question on the tourism numbers. I can bet you that we have seen a steep decline in stay-over tourism over the last few months. And I will attribute some of that to the concerns over the beach. One of the hotels on that strip has told me that they lost overall 40% of their business, and they lost 60% of their group business, which is where they make their most money from because of the beach situation. So understanding how these groups work, they have points and they have relationships. I can't say with certainty, but I'm sure that majority of those that they lost didn't move to another hotel in Cayman. They moved to another jurisdiction, especially at the late hour. So it has a national importance to it, not just my constituency and the Caymanians that live in a lot of those condos, but it has a real national emergency national concern, to the point where it is a major emergency now that we address this issue for the continuity of our tourism product. So like I said, I just want to let those know that I've been in touch with that, and the constituents that do live on 7 Mile Beach in my constituency, that I will be meeting with the Minister of Sustainability and her team tomorrow. And I'll update them from that meeting.
Excellent. Anything else that you need to cover? Is that caller still there, Ms. Susan? Even though we didn't announce that we would be taking calls, and one person did inquire, and I said to them that I would announce if and when this caller has come through, so we're going to grab the caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Hello, good morning, Mr. Connor, and good morning, Mr. Hugh.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Obviously, the tail end of your conversation is one that intrigued a lot of interest, obviously, because we do have a problem on the West Bay Road Beach. What I would like to just say in regards to that is that you're absolutely right in everything you said in regards to what may be the causes of it. But, I mean, at the end of the day, Joey, we can do as many studies as we want, and we can spend as much money as we want doing studies to tell us what's the problem. I think we all are aware of the problem is that the buildings are built too close to the water, and that unless we're willing to tackle the reality on how to fix it, meaning some of these structures may have to be removed. We've seen in recent years where the Coral Beach, in particular, which is right next to Royal Palm, which I believe is one of the structures you were referring to, that water is actually washing up against it and it's falling into the water, right? So I know this for a fact because I've gone to those beaches. We've all gone to those beaches on many occasions, so we've seen it. So when Coral Beach put a wall up just a few years ago, we've seen the fast decline of the beach at Royal Palms. Those are the facts. The geographical history and the topical maps that planning have access to, all of the pictures that they take from the satellite, you can see the decline after that wall went in. Now, the reality is that we can have all the meetings we want, Mr. Hugh. You know what I mean? We can have every meeting in the world to tell us that the beach is eroding. We know the beach is eroding, and we know why. Now, are we willing as a government and as a people to say, look, this is a problem. This is a problem that we need to fix, and there are going to be some hard decisions that we need to make, and some of these structures are going to have to move because clearly on the west side of the beach, on the higher end of the beach, you see all of the structures that are not that close to the water have an abundance of beach. And I've grown up in Cayman. I've ridden horses on that beach right until they outlawed it. And we could ride from Pageant Beach all the way to Bogasan at one point.
Well,
and
yeah, when I was growing up, Coach Huda used to make us run the whole beach. We didn't have the horse.
So we all have experiences of standing on our feet from the beginning to the end.
Yeah, I lived at Cayman Sands. My dear mother, may her soul rest in peace, managed the monkey houses, the Smurf houses they call them. So I lived there for a few years, and that beach was my playground just prior to the Marriott being built. So I know the history, and I agree with you, and I didn't get into the details of what some of the solutions. I know that the government has access to solutions. This is not something that has been unique to the Cayman Islands, by the way. This is Jamaica's Negril Beach has gone through several refurbishments. The coast of Florida has a continuous beach renourishment program. But I agree with you, but these decisions, and just an interesting fact I found out is that wall at Coral Beach had been there for several decades. It just got buried. It was buried. I was shocked to find out. I saw pictures where persons were staying at that house. They showed me pictures that stayed in that little house. They were renting it, and the big wall in front of them. So the wall.
I went on Google Earth and I searched. I searched all the way back to as far as they started taking images, and I can tell you that wall wasn't there. They may have been a wall. No, don't get me wrong.
Okay.
I'm not saying they may have been a retina footing that was there, but they built the wall higher on top of that existing footing, and they should have never done that because it prevented the sand from having that natural flow.
I agree. I think we saw the same thing down at Tiki Beach as well.
Right, and all I'm saying is, Joey, is that you said something early in the show that resonated with me, meaning that we all need to start facing these problems that we have because they're the same problems. We don't need got to stop the name calling and separating our emotions in politics. You're right. This 7 Mile Beach problem is a Cayman problem.
Right.
It's not a political party's problem.
Exactly.
So I agree. So we need to stop entertaining the idea that we're going to pump some sand there and then pray for God that it stays, because we need to fix the reason why the sand is coming out of there. So
yeah, but what I understand from the engineering reports is that, as we see happening right now, you mentioned the Royal Palms. If we took down the Royal Palm structure, the water's just going to keep coming because the damage has already been done. So I'm not advocating for anything here, but what the reports are saying is that you actually have to do some renourishment first, and then you have what they call a managed retreat. They term it as a managed retreat, the technical term for managed retreat. So, but you can't do the retreat until you put something there to block the water first. So, and my suggestion, and I think it has quite a bit of support from individuals in that area, is that they start a fund that they pay for, whether they add $1, 50 cents, $1.25 on to each room night as an environmental fee, and that goes into a fund that every 10 years or every 8 years or every 15 years as needed, they can do a renourishment again, because it is not going to stop. If you believe in global warming, or if you think this is just a natural occurrence and a change in weather patterns, it isn't going to stop. It's going to happen. So we have to not only deal with it now, but we also have to prepare to deal with it in the future, and that is where the responsibility of the property owners come in.
Okay, caller, I want to. Sorry, I have to interrupt you, but Mr. Hugh has to leave. We have to go to a commercial break.
And
but
caller,
before
you can reach out to me. I'm happy to sit down and chat with you some more about it.
Right.
I mean, I could just end with my comment right now. I mean, I don't see the problem in that.
Sure.
It has to be quick.
All I'm saying to you is, Mr. Hugh, I don't disagree with what you're saying, but I can assure you that global warming isn't the cause of this problem. Because if global warming was the cause of the problem, the entire stretch would be gone. That is not the problem. The problem is that we need to move the problem.
Caller, you're repeating what you said before.
I got it. Thank you, caller. Appreciate it.
Okay, Mr. Hugh, I want to give you an opportunity for some closing comments because I know you have to leave.
Thank you, Ossie. I appreciate it, and we will certainly. I'll be back again. We'll come back and report after the house sitting, and we'll go from there.
Yep, and I'll take the heat afterwards. For those people who were trying to call in, but. If you're traveling from this point to another in a vehicle, if you listen to the radio, we will still take the calls, and you can hear what the callers have to say as well. Thank you very much. Good luck on Monday, as well, and we will certainly listen to hear more news about the deputy leader of the opposition as well. Folks, have to take the commercial break. Please stay tuned. The phone lines will be open afterwards. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
You deserve a unique vacation this year, one with easy non-stop flights from Cayman. Cayman Airways offers more non-stop flights to and from the Cayman Islands than any other airline. Now you can add Panama and Los Angeles to your travel bucket list. Skip the hassle of connecting flights. Panama is just a 2-hour non-stop flight from Cayman. And Los Angeles? Get there in less than 5 hours non-stop aboard Cayman Airways. Call 949-2311 or visit CaymanAirways.com to book your Los Angeles or Panama getaway today.
There you go, sir. Thanks for choosing JN Money Transfer.
Boy, thanks to JN Money Transfer, I can stay right here in Cayman and pay mama bills back home in Jamaica. Her water, light, phone and other bills never late. Every month I pay everything in one place.
Make payments to over 30 companies in Jamaica through JN Money Transfer. Fast, affordable, convenient. Call 1-800-744-1163 for details.
Did you know that Doctors Hospital provides urgent care services 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? And Doctors Hospital's urgent care physicians have access to the most advanced MRI and CT imaging in the Caribbean, providing reliable diagnostics when you need it most. When you need quality urgent care for an illness or injury, Doctors Hospital is here for you 24/7. Whether it's a migraine, chest or abdominal pain, shortness of breath, broken bones, or another urgent need, Doctors Hospital at the top of Walker's Road. Urgent care right now.
For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Good morning. Welcome back to For the Record. We do have a caller, and before we go to the caller, just say, in terms of the calls coming through to Mr. Hugh, he had an agenda. There were things that he wanted to cover first. But I always encourage people to send their comments or their questions. And even if their comments are sent in on WhatsApp and they're long, I can summarize what they're saying and you get your point across. Rather than having this long dialogue trying to solve a problem on the phone. We won't solve our problems via a talk show. We can amplify them. We can bring them to people's attention, but this is not the platform to solve them. So let's go to the caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Hey, good morning, O.C.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm good, my friend. I'm good. Enjoying the beautiful day that God provides for us. I wanted to tell the deputy leader there congratulations, but he moved it off. So, regarding the comments that the gentleman made there just now, he correct. But I just want to say one thing. This problem that they're having there on 7 Mile Beach, seems to be a problem that will never be fixed. And why I say that is, in New England and the areas up around the Carolinas, right now, the people are telling them, the insurance companies, the engineers are telling them, listen, we can't do nothing about on the homes that being washed away due to this high rise of tide. Or people used to call it spring tide. Today they call it king tide. It's eroding the beaches. Homes are crashing into the sea, and they're telling them, listen, pack your stuff up. If you can get your stuff, if they can't, the houses fall in, let's move on. But you can't build in these areas no more because of this high rise. We see the global change of high rise in water. That ain't got changed. So the fix of them getting the 7 Mile Beach fixed, they would have to act on that immediately because it's not going to get no better. It's only going to get worse as the water keep residing up and washing away the water, because we, like what you say, we can talk about it all we want, but the solutions ain't going to get fixed that way. But yeah, it's a problem, and it's not only us. It's throughout the east coast of the United States, and wherever else around the world it happening to. It's not only 7 Mile Beach, and it's a problem that I don't think will ever get fixed, because, first of all, it took too long to act on it, and pumping sand there is not going to solve the problem, because the water just going to erode it and drag it back in the ocean, and it's not going to come back the way it was. So I don't see it being a problem that the government will be able to fix. They can bring in the best engineers in the world. If they can't fix it in New England, I don't see it being fixed in Georgetown or West Bay Road. But that's what I just wanted to say. But I wanted to tell him congratulations on his new position, and I know he'll do a good job where he is there and continue to do good for the people and not only think about himself. So you just take care of yourself, Jose, and have a good day, and I'll talk to you again.
Thank you very much, caller. Thank you very much for that as well. One of our listeners wrote and said, the person said, I think Lord Graham should definitely run. And then they go on to say promises are like pie crust made to be broken. Young people are not idiots. Most of them are no longer babies. They're strong, resilient, and see how their leaders are leaving them behind. They are not blind. Then they go on to say, tell a story about a young man who was running on 7 Mile Beach a few days ago, and he was sinking at a few places on the beach. He normally runs on the beach as well. So climate change has something to do with it, but our ills, our problems here in the Cayman Islands and 7 Mile Beach, we know that the majority of it is man-made. Man-made because of all of the errors, all of the concessions that we granted to people in the past. And when I say concessions, I'm talking about allowing them to build in certain areas as well, and so close. And, you know, if we really want to assign blame, and assigning blame at this point in time is not going to solve the problem, but we need to know our history, and we need to look back and see which of our legislators were involved in changing the high water mark in the Cayman Islands, that policy, that legislation, which of our legislators were involved in that. Because if we take those leaders and we elevate them and we make them national heroes, and, we laud them for their accomplishments and all of the things that they contributed in terms of the development of the Cayman Islands, we also have to cite them for the errors that they made, whether or not it was a selfish decision because they had interests on the 7 Mile Beach that they were trying to preserve. We really have to point it out, because we should not make the same mistake twice. It may not be the beach. In this case, it may be our heritage. It may be the opportunities for Caymanians as well. When politicians have personal interests, the majority of them, because of the human nature of self-preservation, when a politician has an interest, he or she, they are going to look out for that interest. They're not going to do anything that is likely to damage their interests that they have in things. Just saying that. And it is a fact. It is a truism as well. Miss Susan, if we have a caller, let's take the commercial break, and then we will take the caller afterwards. This way, once we return from the commercial break, we can go straight through until 8 o'clock, until 10 o'clock. Sorry, we're going to take the break now and take the caller afterwards. Folks, please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
You can now renew your driver's license or motor vehicle license online, and you don't need an ESID number. It's as easy as 1, 2, 3. Visit www.dvdl.gov.ky.
West Bay Pharmacy in Centennial Towers, a compounding story.
I don't think people realize how pain creeps into your life. It has a way of robbing your strength. I really don't like taking prescription medication orally.
West Bay Pharmacy in Centennial Towers. They understand.
When it comes to compounded medication, it's personal. So whenever there's a problem with some medication or treatments that's not working right, then a physician will call me and say, hey, they're having bad side effects from this medication.
Compounding pain cream changed the game. Made special for me. Significant pain relief in the form of a cream. That is a new experience for me.
It's changed his life.
It worked.
Ask your pharmacist or healthcare provider about compounding at West Bay Pharmacy in Centennial Towers. Call 914-6449.
Can you imagine your home completely organized? At Brand Source Custom Closets, we can. We specialize in designing and building custom closets and storage units for any room in your home, including the garage. With tailored designs and custom LED lighting solutions to fit your lifestyle and budget. Our custom closets expert is committed to enhancing the value of your home with a solution that is uniquely yours. Visit our showroom or call 623-6774 to schedule a no-obligation appointment with our design expert. Brand Source Custom Closets, 209 Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park.
With Orrett Connor.
Good morning. Welcome back to For the Record. We have two callers on hold. I just want to remind our listeners also that the press briefing that will take place this morning at 11 o'clock will be carried live on Radio Cayman as well. Is it 105.3 or 89.9? On 89.9. Right where you are now, 89.9 will be carried live as well. And you can also follow it on Zoom. And there will be a Zoom test at 10 a.m. And all media wishing to participate via Zoom are required to attend the test as well. Let's go to the phone lines. First caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Hey, good morning, O.C.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm not too bad, enjoying this nice weather.
Good for you.
Some people not going to see it like that, but, we can't do a thing about Mother Nature. So, instead of getting all upset and, this and that and stressing out yourself, just enjoy it.
Yeah, grin and bear it.
And, O.C., some statements you made earlier regarding the erosion and all of this other stuff about, this island and the beaches. I mean, you are 150% right. It was made by man, right? Nobody else can take the blame for that, but whoever we appoint and put in places that the majority of times don't have a clue, and they would even try to sell you beach property in Arizona if they could. This is what this country is going in the direction that it's going, because we have people that don't know how to guide, don't know how to lead, don't know how to run their own businesses or whatever the case may be. Anybody can come here from Timbuktu. They can set up a company. They can bring in all of their cronies so they can control them. And we as the people, our elected officials, are sitting down, with their eyes wide open, but they're closed. Why they're letting all of this happen into the country? OC, Mr. Hugh made a statement earlier also. I mean, I have a lot of respect for Mr. Hugh, and, personally, I have no issues with him. But, as a politician, I do have some issues with all of my politicians, not only Mr. Hugh. And he made a statement this morning that Cayman is still the best place on the face of the earth. But what he should have said was, it's not the Caymanians. The best place on the earth is for everybody else besides Caymanians, because if he sees what I see going on in this country and what is happening to this country, I mean, he wouldn't say that anymore, that Cayman is the best place in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Because I personally assumed that he meant to Caymanians. No. That is not the case. So people need to be careful in the future with that word, using that word, and understand who is it for the best place on the face of the earth. It's not for us, OC.
Mm-hmm.
And, until we get a government that is going to look into this workforce of this country, I mean, you go to the airport to go anywhere, it's a disgrace to go through that airport and you can't see one Caymanian in our airport, which is supposed to be Cayman's airport, but it's every nationality in the world airport except Caymanian's airport. If something not done, I tell you, when these politicians come out this time, I'm going to vote, because that is my duty, right? But when they come with what's it called?
Manifesto, yeah. Mm-hmm.
When they present that to us, they better know, putting that they can take questions, because the time has come in this country that we need to question the politicians when they are up there begging for our vote. We need to talk to them and find out personally where their views and what they got to do for this country. Not them getting up there with their manifesto with a whole pile of promises and nobody comes through with it. It's really, I don't know, OC. But the politicians, I mean, I am so disappointed to see the direction that this country is going. And nobody that have any authority is saying, you know what, we need to make a change. We're going in the wrong direction. Look at what is happening to United States. United States is gone right to the dog. We are not even going to be able to go up there and shop freely like we used to enjoy because of the crime and everything else that goes along with it. You can't wear certain clothes. You can't do this, you can't do that, because you're afraid you're going to get shot or somebody got, a gang will come and beat the hell out of you or something like that. That is what is happening to the country. So all I'm asking my politicians, wake up and see and do something what is happening in this country.
Okay.
Because it's not good. You
Thank
know
you.
that. I know it. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, caller. Let's grab the next caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Morning, OC.
Hey, morning. How are you? How are things in the back?
Oh, beautiful, man. It's been raining all morning. I'm on the farm now. Yeah, OC, you remember when the Minister Brian was on there about the referendum, right?
Mm-hmm.
I asked him why it wasn't marijuana and gambling on it, because that's what's on it now, you know. Yeah, we don't have to wait till the press briefing for that. You can tell by that. I didn't see it, but I hear it and I feel it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because you know what his words was to me, because everything on this is recorded, right? That you can play back.
Yes. On YouTube, yes. Uh-huh.
Good. All right. You're on the right page. Now, he said to me, I'm the public of the Cayman Islands, that the other members did not want the marijuana and the gambling. All right? It's recorded. I'm not dreaming this. And I didn't have a drink now for 2 days. So I'm sober.
Congrats.
Now I had my medication. You with me? certain people that definitely is listening to me. Because all the politicians got people listening to me. That I know. So I would like him to tell the public this morning how it is now and why it is now that it has been added to that and why it's been moved down until the election. Now, I know why, but I want to find out as he would say so.
Mm-hmm.
Now, see, I was the one that campaigned for the marijuana. Well, I started a petition long before I even thought about running for election. Well, I was thinking about it all my life, I guess. But I started a petition saying that you decriminalize it for your personal use. You can grow 5, 10 plants. You can be up to ounce or 2 ounces. And we be able to cultivate for medical uses, medical marijuana, meaning that we, the farmers, cultivate, we sell it to the laboratories, they process the marijuana, and then they sell it to the pharmacists and the doctors, and they deal with it. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
That's A, B, C. So the farmers is getting a job, is making a living. You got young technicians working in the lab because we need, this is hiring a lot of people, young technicians in the lab. You got a pharmacist, and then it goes on to the doctor, right? This is a win-win situation, and we are promoting medical tourism. We are building another hospital for it, right? And you can take it from me. A lot of people would just like see the raw flower, meaning the weed itself to smoke.
Mm-hmm.
But it would have to be through a doctor to see with, because right now, excuse me, you remember when they raided Doctor's Hospital?
Heard about it. Yeah, heard about it.
What they took away, OC, was vaping pens. But the law...
So caller, while we're talking about all of these possibilities, what at the end of the day, if we do all of this, and the UK at the end of the day, because you can look at any British overseas territory, and there is no legislation in place decriminalizing the use of ganja or any approval for the use of it. So what if the minister says at the end of the day, we do all of this, and the UK says no because our international obligation and the treaties that we have signed up to, you can't do it. What are you going to do then?
Okay.
Or what do you expect the minister to do then?
Okay, see? Thank you very much for the question, sir. Now listen to me. We already have laws in place to sell extracts of marijuana. It's been there now about 10 years or more.
For medicinal purposes?
Medicinal, I just said that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that has to be sourced from somewhere. So if England allowed us to import it into the overseas territory,
okay,
to be given the patient, I am sure that the FCO would not kick against us producing it ourselves, because instead of the currency leaving the country, it would be staying in the country. And that I know. Now, see.
Okay, we're running out of time. Another
point is the World Health Organization has now put marijuana as non-drug. It's not classified as a drug anymore. it is seen for its medicinal and therapeutical benefit. It is not considered a drug under the World Health Organization. So it's nothing about England. It's just about the will and our politicians to get up off of there and do what they need to do for the people.
Okay, so we're going to listen to see what Minister Bryan has to say at 11 o'clock today in relation to that. All speculation in terms of whether or not a national lottery or gambling will be on the referendum, or the decriminalization of ganja as well. We'll wait and see all of that. Caller, thank you very much, folks. I want to thank all of you who have contributed this morning. I want to thank the Deputy Leader, Mr. Joey Hugh, for being here. Apologies for inability to take phone calls, but we have to bear in mind it is only a talk show, and maybe we need to look and see if we change the name from talk show to something else, a short discussion show or whatever, because in 2.5 hours, there's only so much that you can say and everything else. And we here in the Cayman Islands and the Caribbean, whenever we talk, we always have to have a story to tell. It always has to be in the form of a story, and maybe we can't do anything about that. So we try our best. We try to accommodate as many people as we can. Again, thank all of those who contributed, those of you who we were able to accommodate as well. Don't forget the press briefing at 11 o'clock. Don't forget that we are our brothers and our sisters' keepers. There is always someone out there who's less fortunate than we are. Ask you to extend a helping hand. If you can't do that, then donate to War the Charity. Remember, join Sterling Drainey Banks at 12:15 for talk today. And as usual, we ask the good Lord, please, please, please bless these 3 beautiful Cayman Islands. And like the caller said, but the Cayman Islands being the best place in the world, I would add to that, best place in the world, but we need to make it better for Caymanians. We need to make it better for Caymanians. Have a great day, folks. Please stay safe, and please try to stay dry if you can.
For the Record, proudly brought to you by
Brand Source Home Gallery, inspiring luxury.
And JN Money.
From abroad to yard.
Fast, affordable, convenient.
Doctors Hospital. Peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctors Hospital, always there for you. Call 949-6066.
And Cayman Airways. Call them on 949-2311 to book your nonstop flights to Los Angeles and Panama.
And Kirk Market. Experience a world of choice.
If they are talking about us,
living in your head rent-free all this time,
we must